Technology is basically the way we execute the discoveries of science and blend them with our own needs. Technology is a general term used to refer to the different tools, machines, and equipment we use in everyday life. Did you know that devices such as smartphones and laptops are essential to everyone and it helps people a lot during their daily life? So, people today use devices for communication with others. Other functions of devices can give benefit to human life such as set a reminder, alarm clock, or written tasks.
My name is ZULKIFLI, and today I would like to talk to you about Android versus iPhone. Before we move to our discussion today, I would like to introduce to you our team members, NURAINAA NABIHAH and AFIQ. Our discussion today has 6 contents, which is implementation, ease of design, security, reliability, flexibility, and lastly is efficiency. All devices have their own operating system that needed to run various programs and applications. People nowadays still think what kind of operating system they need to choose, either Android or iOS. Even both operating systems help to run programs and applications, but there are big difference between Android and iOS. Now we move to the first content, which is reliability. Let's go.
Hi there. To begin with, I will explain the reliability for Android operating system first. As many of us had experience using the Android operating system, I believe we are so common with cloud storage on it. But what is cloud storage and what can we do with it? First of all, as the Android operating system is developed by Google, the cloud storage is based on Google. The cloud storage platform, for example, Google Drive, allows us to upload, share a big size of files to one another, and even view its contents immediately. People also can download the files for many purposes. But we need to have a Gmail account first to use Google Drive cloud storage. And Google provides every user with only 15GB free cloud storage, which is adequate for the average person using it for personal purposes. As Google Drive also allows huge file size of various extensions to be uploaded, so it eases us to share the files to others when we could not share it using normal transfer, such as via WhatsApp, as WhatsApp has file size limit which is up to 100MB only. To conclude, as Google Drive Cloud Storage developed by Google eases us in file transferring, it proves us that we can rely on the Android operating system. Now, I will explain about iOS reliability. What can we rely on it? For iOS, it was developed by Apple company, and it also has cloud storage called iCloud, where it will store our photos, files, notes, passwords, and other data in the cloud and keep it up to date across all our devices automatically. We can also backup our iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch using iCloud. It eases iPhone users, doesn't it? So, it proves to us that we can rely on it. Let's proceed with both operating systems security, shall we? Firstly, Android. What I can say is that Android is secure in its application. Why do I say that? This is because Google only allows tested and proven secure Android applications into its marketplace, so the user is less likely to install a malicious application. Also, the Android security system prompts the user to allow the installation of an application, making remote installation and running of an application impossible. For iOS security, Apple, on the other hand, they own its ecosystem, which includes software, hardware, and operating systems. This means that no one outside of the company has complete access to or understanding of the company's systems. Apple does not make its source code available to application developers, and iPhone and iPad owners cannot easily modify the code on their devices. This makes finding vulnerabilities on iOS-powered devices more difficult for hackers. To conclude, both operating systems have their own way to secure their devices and also users' data. The more secure the user's devices, the more they can rely on their devices. I have done explaining both operating systems, reliability and security. what about their ease of design? Oh wait, I know who I should ask. Hello ILMAN, what about Android and iOS ease of design?
Hello Aina, about ease of design. Let me explain you a little bit, okay? So, although both are the two technology brands is leading in the market today, their apps design is very different. Despite such, both Apple and Google have their set of guidelines that app designer and developer should follow. Apple has the human interface guideline, while Google has a material design. For iOS, app design works on a closed ecosystem. This means there are limitations for developer looking to create one from scratch. That's because Apple enforces more restriction for their clients' benefit. With a closed ecosystem, this provided Apple user a more secure and stable app usage. On the other side, Android is opposite. Their app's design is an open source system. While developers may find convenient for more modification, this might danger to the user's security. Sometimes, some network operators may block Android updates and whatnot. So, here are some examples between Android and iOS. There are menu, back button, context, and search buttons. Next, we move to how this operating system is implemented for Android and iOS. Android runs on the Linux kernel because Linux is an open source operating system. Linux spares the Android developer from having to design their own kernel. iOS is built the iOS software development kit and use official programming language such as Swift and Objective-C. The Darwin operating system is based on BSD Linux and was the ancestor of both the Mac OS X and iOS. Next, we're gonna move to AIMAN AFIQ.
For flexibility, we could conclude that Android is far more superior than iOS. This is because in Android, which is an operating source, it can do things such as, for example, downloading third-party application through other stores easily, which iPhone can do also, but it's quite hard. Other than that, using USB Type-C and micro USB port, which is largely made up for the portion of the ports in current nowadays, and much more. While, for example, its rival, which is iOS, lacks flexibility because it is, first of all, it's not an operating system. It's not an open source operating system, and only integrated its ecosystem, its purposes around the ecosystem, which means that we are not free to customize as users our devices as we want to. It's also restrictive on how we should use our devices. For efficiency, we could give the score to the iOS because while both are sustainable to its reputation, the one which is more likely better is iOS. Although you could say that although Google made the base of Android operating system, Android is used as intermediate for many manufacturers to use the operating system. For example, Samsung, Sony, and other manufacturers, which then they integrate their features atop of Android functionality. This is different from iOS, where iOS, the only manufacturers, the control of the operating system is just Apple itself. So they easily can keep their upcoming devices up to date later in the years. apart from that, because of smartphone, typically Android smartphone released with tiers such as low end tier, mid tier, and high tier, it's far more difficult to keep the smartphone efficient in the long time. Like I said before, iOS, where their lines usually keep up to date because they do not have too many smartphones to update for each time. For the conclusion, after we differentiate both operating system, which is iOS and Android operating system, we could say that both of these have their own niche, where for example Android is an open source operating system. Typically this is a good thing because many things can be built top of Android, but you're also prone to lack of attack, also prone to attack, unlike iOS where it's not an open source, which make it far more secure. That is one of the niche of these two operating system. But for like users, typical users, Android is far more. Android has less longevity compared to Android, because as you could see from our video previously, Android supports only up to 3 years mostly, and for iOS it is up to at least 5 years. So here is you can see that the differentiate between these two. Other than that, for most people, iOS seems maybe far more simple than Android, which it is an open source. The Android, because Android being an open source, it is appeal to certain category of people. For those who like simplicity and other things like that, iOS is far more suitable than them. Other than that, I would say that both operating system is good. It is just the preference of which one you like, which the category you are for, and what you want to do with your devices. So with that, I conclude that both of these operating systems are good for their own people that they are targeted to. Thank you.